Hi everyone, it's Jean. I'm back with my crazy collage papers here, and I wanted to show you how they came out on the printer. You can see a lot of detail with some of the stenciling that I did, and of course the stamps. I love some of the papers, the way they showed through. This one's a really pretty one. This one is lighter. I love it. I don't know where I got this dark piece here, but it's fine. It looks good, and this looks like some kind of tree or something, so very cool. I love the way this one turned out. So these are going to be great for either I think I have something planned for these, so let me just hold on to them for a minute. This one was the first one that I did, and I really like how everything turned out. I love the lettering on the stamping. So here are the original pieces. I have the two, and then one of them I cut into mostly ATC sized cards. Now ATC sized cards are the size of a playing card, which I thought I had one here. Give me a second and I'll pull one out. And playing cards are, oh fiddle, where did I see them? Okay, so with a playing card, this is the size of an ATC. So these I cut down to that size because these are functional then for you to put right into your journals as focal pieces. You can give them away individually if you want. And how I did that is I just basically turned the piece over and started at the top and marked with my pen where this would be, and then I cut it off accordingly. Now you will get some edges that you may not, some extra edges that you're not going to use, and if you get those, I'll show you what you can do with those as well. So all right, so I'm just going to cut this at, I might have gotten it crooked. Let me get my tea water over here. Okay. Hopefully not too crooked. And then I will cut, oh stars, let me move this. And then I'll cut this one at the mark I made, and then this one at the other mark I made. And here are two pieces that are ATC size, and then we have this little piece at the end. So let me show you what I did with these. So I did this with all of my papers on one of the ones that I had created, the one with the original one that I did. So you come out with these tiny little pieces. Now, one of the things you want to make sure of, because we sprayed water on them, to be able to decorate them. There may be a couple places where the collage papers lifted up, and that's going to happen, unfortunately, when you use glue. If you use a gel medium, there's less chance that it's going to cause you an issue with lifting up. However, the reason I didn't use any gel medium on these is because I didn't want to put a layer of the gel medium on top before we were able to do all of our stamping and fun stuff that we did on them. So what I've done with these is checked any papers that might lift up, and then after I'm finished, I just I take a corner rounder. This one seems to work. I don't know if that is the side I glued or not. This one works pretty good. And I just go in and round the corners on this. So, and you're barely cutting anything when you're doing this, so you may have to fix it with the scissors. Let me check and see if I can do it again. Okay, there we go. And this is the side I glued, so if it's dry enough now, we can clip it. And there we get an ATC size, or close to it. Doesn't have to be exact, but what I wanted to bring out is that these are so cool looking once you cut them down into a smaller piece. You can see all the different designs that we used. You can feel the textures. It's really quite nice. So let me put the lid on that. And then I'm going to round the corners on this one. Now, these little pieces can be used to create tabs for your journal. You can use them to, I have another one here. You can use them for clusters. I had a whole bunch. I don't know where they went. You can use them for clusters, or let's see what else I have here. Here's another size. Sorry, I have something under my board causing it not to want to sit down. I don't know what it is. I don't know. Oh, a pencil. Okay. All right, there we go. So here's another shape. It's just a long shape. So these are kind of cool to put on different, I mean, once you make a tag, you can definitely put a hole in these and a bulb pin. That would be very cool. So the remnant pieces, keep them because you can use them for other things. Now, previously in another video, I had done some flowers on book pages, and my favorite pen to use is my Uniball pen. And these are book pages that have been gessoed. So the reason I like to do the gesso is because when I draw something, whatever the flower may come out to be. The gesso, when you color it then with the watercolor markers or whatever you choose to color it with, it seems to bring out a really cool shading that I like. So, and I'm just gonna go around this again, and it'll make the flower a little bit bigger. And up here, I can go like this and start a rose and then kind of bring the flower around like this. And roses usually have that at the bottom. These are basically just whimsical flowers, but then you take your marker set, which I have my marker set here, and you can color this orange. I don't think I have any orange flowers right now. Orange on the inside petal, and then we can see if we can find a darker orange for the outside petal. Now these are Primrosea watercolors, or watercolor pens. They're very good, they're very nice, smooth. I haven't done much blending with them, so I can't really recommend that because I don't know how that would work. But I do know that they make really nice colors when you spray water on them. So if you're using them to actually create something with watercolors and you spray the water on them, they're really a nice product to use for that. Okay, so I'm just coloring these around the edge, just making sure I get all of the white. Love, love, love using book pages to create flowers with, and then I'll show you what we're going to do with the flowers. So I'm just going to color that green, and we'll get this one while I have the green out, and over here. Okay, so let me try to find a red. I don't know if I have anything. It's very hard to determine what the colors are on these because they're not marked. So, let us see, a red. Here's one. Let's see how this one comes out for this red rose. Oh, very nice. It's red, but because of the gesso, it's gonna come out a little bit different, which is okay with me. I like how the gesso looks underneath. Gives it more of a vintagey or watercolor style. There we go. We have a red rose and an orange flower. So that's just showing you how I make them on the book page, and then what I do is I cut them out and then I use them in my project. So today what we're going to do, I'm going to save out the two pieces that we worked on. Let me move those out of the way. And over here, I have a bunch of flowers that I already made and cut out. So I have some pink, some yellow, purple, blue, all different colors. So what we're going to do with our gel medium, and these pieces, they may be bent a little bit because of the way we added water and the different products to it. So if you find that happening, all you need to do is bend it the other way a little bit and it'll unbend itself, if that's a word. Okay, so let me find a decent brush, and I want to dry it because I don't want a lot of water on it. I don't know what in the world happened to my paper towels. It's hard to say. Oh, here they are. I know I asked my husband to bring me some. So I'm just going to put this here. I don't know that I will need it. I don't think I'm gonna need any glue. And of course, a Liquitex matte gel is what I'm using. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to apply this flour to our ATC. And you might not think that this is going to match or look good, but it actually looks pretty nice. So let me go ahead and apply this. And I'm going to put just a light coating of the gel medium over top, because the ink on our flower is water soluble. It's basically a watercolor pen. I don't want to spread the watercolor off of the square. So where we have leftover stem, just going to pinch that off. And oops. Now why does that want to stick to my finger? Okay. And I'm going to stick this down. And there we get a really cool ATC. Now this is, I'm going to set this one aside over here so it can dry. And then we'll take our next square, and I kind of like this purple one. I was looking at my flower drawing and I decided for some reason I was making them all go the same direction. So I have some here that go a different way. So we'll try those too. So wouldn't it be fun to open up a journal and find this really nice floral mixed media project right in your journal? So you can clip these in. Like I said, you can add some eyelets to them and bulb pins if you'd like. And that looks really nice to do that. Let's do this blue one. It's a really interesting blue flower. And I'm just putting the gel medium pretty thick on the back of the flower because I don't want very much, I don't want to have to apply very much on the top to get it to stick. So we have this one. I don't know where my tweezers walked off to, but I really could use them. Let me see. Let me see. The other ones I have, it's like you have to squeeze them to open. And I'm not fond of that. So I'll have to find my other ones. I don't know where they walked off to. Do your things walk off? My things walk off. It's kind of a funny thing to say, but they do. I think some people say that because maybe their kids get in their stuff and take their stuff. My children are old enough now that they don't usually get in my things. My daughter, though, she's 25, but she's always been one of these people that has to like open things, see if she can take something apart. She was forever taking pens apart. If there were a pair of scissors wherever she was cutting things. It's like she couldn't be still. So if there was anything she could open, anything she could do that with, she would do it. The worst thing she would do is when I would buy new clothes, and if there was ever one that I wasn't sure about that I might want to take back to the store, she had already ripped the tags off of them. She was so funny like that. She always ripped the tags off everything first. One time I had a cross-stitch project that I had worked on for a long while, and I don't know what she was doing. I think she was sitting talking to her friend on the phone. This is when she's much younger, and there were scissors there, and she cut my cross stitch, and I thought, now why did she do that, the corner of it? So then I had to try to redo it. But when she comes over now, sorry, I had a little bit of an art attack over there. I'm gonna see if I can find a little lighter piece for this one. When she comes over now, she doesn't do that as much, although if she comes in my room, she'll go through my jewelry box. Anything like that that's partially opened, she wants to go through. So, that's my girl. My son, he doesn't care. If I show him some of my art projects, he'll say, "Ooh, that's cool, Mom," and that's about it. So, aren't these just the cutest? You would never think that a book page whimsical flower on something like this would look cute. And you know, the back is kind of rough looking, but you could put some pretty paper on the back of here and even give these as gifts if you wanted to. And I think people would love them, you know, or put a sentiment and a card in. There's something about receiving flowers or a flower that people love. So I think that anything like this that has, it's not only a flower, but the background is a piece of your artwork. So such a nice gift to share with people. I was listening to, I was reading this. It was a lady who loved to write, and she she thought that letter writing was, you know, people think that's so antiquated now because of texting and the phone. You can email. Some people, a lot of people still use email, you know, to send a message. You could do the letter writing. You could do texting, but for the most part, letter writing is not really something we do anymore. And she mentioned that one of the ways to get people to communicate by letter was even including a self-addressed envelope inside the letter, which would, you know, give the person a reason to write you something back. But I think she's right. I think we really should take time and write letters to people that we love, because then they can keep them. They're like keepsakes. So that's what would be so cute with these, is to write a letter and then include one of these in it as a little gift of your art from your heart. So these are the two we cut from the new paper, and I actually do have some flowers I can put on here. Let me see which one I like. Okay, I like this one over here. So I encourage you, if you have a friend or a family member that you haven't talked to for a while, you can send them a letter and see, I think I'm going to turn this, see how they're doing. You know, talk to them, try to relate, see what's going on, share some good news instead of some bad news. Have a lot of bad news these days, don't we? Okay, so here is from the new stack, and then I have this, I have one left, and we'll see how it looks on this one. So, and I have, of course, the orange one that I had just drawn, but these were the ones that I had prepared for the project. So we'll put these on and see how they look. Now, if you do use the gel medium and it lightens any of the colors, if you've used watercolor like pencils, watercolor markers like I have, you can always go back over them after the gel medium is dry. The main thing is we want to make sure that the flower is sticking to the base. So these are so cute. I love them. And they really don't need anything else. However, if you wanted to take, let me see if I have this. If I have it handy. One of the things that I think every artist should have is a white paint pen, a large one and a regular one, and also a white paint pen. I'm not sure if I said white, and then also a very good pen that they like writing with. Now for me, like I said, I love the Uniball. It usually never fails me whenever I need to write on something. but you can also take your white acrylic pen and you could do something like a little bit of white dots in the middle of the flower. I don't want to go too crazy here, but this one we could do some white dots in the middle. And what that does is it just kind of highlights some of what's going on here. So this one, let me see if my pens work. It has, sometimes you have to prime it a couple times. Now these are Tuliart, and I've used them many times, and they're less expensive. Tuliart and Graffiti are my favorite, and they don't cost a whole ton of a lot, you know what I mean? So this is what I'm doing with these. Just giving them a different look. So you can go back and highlight them any way you like. We already did this one. Let me see. Do this one and this one. Yeah, my pen needs to be primed for a little bit. There we go, adding a little bit of interest to that one. And this one, okay, pen, let's work. This one, we're going to just go around the outside edges a little bit. Haven't used this pen for a little bit, so it's being contrary about coming down from the top of the tube. Now the white looks nice against the background of this collaged cardstock that we're using. So you can this yellow one, it needs something, so let's see if we can't put some white dots here and make this a little bit more cheerful. Sometimes when you gesso your papers and then you color on top of them, what you think is going to be a darker yellow might end up being, you know, just a light color yellow. So that brightens that one up a little bit. This one, I'm just gonna do some dots on the stem. I really like this design of flower. So when you do your flowers, just remember you can do the flower in any shape you want. You can do it tilting toward the east or the west. You can do it a straight up flower. You can do them all similar. in color and just do a whole series of a different, you know, of the same flower, maybe different colors. So there's so many options for designing your own, what we call whimsical flower. I would like to be able to draw flowers better, but this is my rendition and I like it. I'll do that one then. So this one, I think this was the one that needed a little bit more green. Let me see if I can add that after. It just needed more green because the gel medium washed it out. There we go. So get out your dictionary pages, your old book pages. You can put gesso on them if you want to, like I did, or you can just leave them plain. If you leave them plain, they look nice as well. I don't know if I have any, I'll show you if I have any drawn on plain. I just like the way that the gesso, how the watercolor marker looks under gesso. And if you don't have watercolor markers, you can use actual watercolor. Watercolors to do your designs. Or you don't have to do, or you can use regular markers. So use whatever you have for your doodle flowers. I would just do them in a black first, or, you know, some kind of dark color that you may have first. So that way you have a chance, so you can see the lines. Do your gesso first, then you're drawing, then you're coloring, if you're going to do it that way. If you're not going to do it that way, then what I would do is, if you're going to do it on plain paper, draw, then color. Let me see if I thought I had some on plain paper. Maybe I changed them to gessoed paper. Let me see. I was also thinking, okay, here's one I gessoed. Some of these, this is done on a plain paper. And some of these ones that I made mark making on, I'm thinking about drawing some flowers on those to see what happens. So we'll do that another time. So let me show you each of the cards, and hopefully you'll be able to see them well. So this one was from the second page we cut out, and so was this one. Put those over there. Here we have this one. Very pretty. And see how you have that that white marker, how it kind of adds something to it. Not necessary, but fun. So out of one sheet, you can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ATC sized cards, and then you can get these smaller pieces. Now you could definitely make yourself a tall, skinny flower to go on here, and that would be cute. Actually, let me try that. I know I have some gesso paper here. gonna make me a tall, skinny flower. If I can find my pen. Okay. I just love those. I hope you guys do too. So I'm gonna make a small, but a tall, skinny, I need to pick another one, but it could be larger. There we go. That's a fat stem. Okay. There we go. So this one definitely should be colored purple because these are like a purplish foxglove or something like that. That was my intention anyway. Okay, that looks nice. Let me just make sure. Okay. And then this one, let me get this nice, pretty blue, and we'll make the center a different color. Sometimes you think it's a different color, and then when you start drawing with it, it seems like it's almost the same. So I'm confused about these colors. Go. And let me see what this color is. Should be an orange. And where is there a really dark? So this green reminds you of like a real deep olive. So if we color with it, it doesn't come out a deep olive. It comes out some other color. But we're going to use it and say that it's deep olive. So I'll only do one of these, but I want to do this tall one right here and see which one it'll fit on. Most difficult one to cut out. Hopefully, because I made that big tall leaf, it won't be too bad. And this book paper, I don't know, I can't remember where this came from, but it cuts very easily, so you almost have to be super careful with how you cut it, or it'll cut into your design. Plus my jerking doesn't help at all, does it? So today, usually what we do is we play Arm's Length Saturday. So I am going to post this project for my Arm's Length Saturday project. I didn't check in this morning, but I had every intention to. Sometimes what happens with me is my mom comes to visit and she likes to stay and talk. She likes to stay and talk with me for, I'm not going to say an hour, but sometimes a long time, and then I don't get a whole lot done. But I'd rather spend time with my mom. So I do. Okay, so I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put some gel medium on the back, and then I'm going to put it on this one that's tall and skinny. And there we have another flower one. So hopefully we can, if you decide to do that with your scraps that you have left over, you can do that. Or you can put some lace and a label on there, and then you have a very cool snippet if you want to do that, or cluster. So that is my project for you today, guys, using up our kind of like master boards that we made, or collage boards that we made with a lot of different elements and mediums. So this was so fun to do, and I just wanted you to see how you could make it into a practical idea for your junk journal. So have a wonderful day, and remember, as always, be kind to yourself and to others. Bye for now.